is there some way to fix or to just jettison yourself from the broken hiring system and do it in a completely different way where you get to better results at this point?
Start it up, let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding, hustle smart, dream so wide. Turn that grind into a joyride.
Here's what I want to talk to you about today.
Oh boy.
So can I tell a little story to lead into this?
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, my friend Austin and I,
friend of the pod.
Yeah. It was a Sunday. We went to this thing in Toronto, put on by Shopify, which is
Cool.
Canadian,
Everybody
cool
knows who
e-commerce.
Shopify
Okay.
is.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have an office in Toronto, actually, ironically, right across the street from our old office where we worked in a co-working location when we built our company. So anyways, King Street West, Toronto. So they have this thing called Builder Sundays. So it's like if you're working on a startup on the side or whatever, you can go to their offices and work from their offices. And it's kind of like us, it's kind of like a co-working coffee shop startup kind of vibe and stuff like that. Let you have free coffee, all that sort of stuff. So Austin and I was like, we're going to try
free
this
coffee.
Out. Yeah, it was great.
I think they can afford it, eh?
Well, I don't know. Geez, we're just some randoms that came in off the street. They gave us free coffee. So it's like, pretty nice. Yeah, it was fantastic. They had the whole thing. It was awesome. They had snacks and stuff too. Cool. Some guys were going to town on the snacks. I'm like,
guys, getting maximum value.
It's a bit much. Anyways, so part of this thing, it was the afternoon. We got there about noon. We stayed till 5. Starting at 3:30, they did the demo time. Okay. Cool. Where if you were working on a startup and you wanted to pitch your thing, show your thing, you could put it up on a screen and show it. So these guys got up there and did one of like 8. By the way, the slots, I thought like, oh, maybe I could demo my thing, but like, I don't know, maybe I'm not ready yet. Is kind of a little bashful. The slots to do a demo filled up in about 10 minutes. Like people were there, wanted a demo. Yeah. Okay. So really cool. One of them was really interesting. They had built a Chrome plugin, okay, that would help you build your resume, okay? And like when you were looking at job sites, it would help tailor your resume for the job that you were looking at on screen, like on an Indeed or whatever. Yeah. And it was really impressive. It was really cool. I was like, whoa, this thing is really awesome. And then, so people were asking questions after the demo, and some of the questions were like, are people going to be able to tell that it's AI and stuff like that? So they handled the questions really well. One guy said, what about the reviewing by AI? Okay. Where the company is using AI to filter the resumes. Like, have you guys thought about that and all that sort of stuff? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, are you kidding me? So everybody's resumes are AI generated and they're being read by AI resume reading things. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking of like our company and how much of a pain in the butt it was pre-AI to hire somebody and the flood of resumes we would get and all that sort of stuff. And I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, is the whole hiring process just broken? Okay. Because how do you know if this wonderful, elegantly written, perfect to a T resume is by somebody who actually cares a lot about your company and really interested in working for you and put a lot of thought into it, or they're just using this plugin, and vice versa. If you're the one person who's probably not using AI or using AI lightly to do your resume and really putting thought into, a job application, is it just going to get dismissed by some AI bot that like filters out some random thing? So I kind of like had this moment where like, this is great, but also like, wow, hiring is broken.
I don't think you're right. I as usual, I think you're full of it. But because I think you're conflating a couple of things. That's what I want to say first off. So first off is that what it's doing is it's doing the initial review that you have to do. So I was HR for one thing. I just want to point out too, I was the HR person at our company. Yeah. And when you got resumes for a job, the first thing you have to do is try to filter them to the things that align with what you're looking for in the role. And this is everything from like, remote working requirements, or does it have to be in office, to skills, to previous experience, to so on and so forth. And so you would, so through Indeed, because we use Indeed a lot, and all the platforms have the same stuff, by the way, but you'd go through it and it would basically sort of cut it up and try to filter it a little bit for you. Then you would get it.
Yeah.
And I'd still probably have about 100 resumes per posting at a minimum. Okay. And so I
Okay.
would quickly look for key things and go through each one and kind of put some in the maybe pile, the no pile, and then the
All right.
let's do an interview pile. So an AI tool being able to do that assessment for me reliably would be fantastic.
Okay.
The other thing that's kind of interesting here is there are a lot of great people. Okay. So this sounds kind of weird, but there's a lot of people that could do the job. And so to your last point there, sometimes a good person will get missed and sometimes a bad person will get into the wrong piles.
Right.
But that I would accept if this tool gave me back the hours or hour at least of time it would take to filter out this like top level of people. Hang on.
Okay.
Last thing is that you said like, would this tool get rid of people who are really passionate and really want to? You don't assess that at the resume level. You assess that in the interview, and that's where you get that.
But aren't you just getting the people who are best at using the AI tools to prep their resume and their application for your job who are showing up at the job interview? Like if you're filtering based on the best resume, the best like meeting the criteria, all that
your
sort of
resume isn't better. I need 5 years of experience in public safety. Let's just say I'm making this up in the public safety. This is a ridiculous market, but in our market, at a minimum to work in this more middle ground job. So it doesn't matter how nice it looks if you've only got 2 years or 1 year or no experience.
Okay.
Or how well it's written.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I think there's maybe two components.
There's
to
qualitative and quantitative elements.
I think there's like the bar, right? Like the minimum bar that somebody needs to apply to these jobs. Okay. So they need the education, they need the experience level you're looking for, they need the skill set you're looking for, that sort of stuff. Fine. Okay. But there's going to be a lot of people that go past that bar. And then at that point, you're looking at all those resumes and you're ranking them by the best resume, the most articulate, the most, the person who does the best job of like tailoring their resume to the job and the things you're looking for in the job posting. Okay. So does that end up being the person who just uses the best AI tools, is most adept at using AI tools, but who can't necessarily do a lot of that stuff in the real world? And, maybe further on that, does that matter? Like if you get a person who is super fluent in AI tools and is amazing and the output is excellent, do you care if they come in and they can barely speak to you, but they're like incredibly good at using
you're still going to interview them. Like you're forgetting that the interview, like you'll have at least one interview. Yeah, at least one. Like we were a tiny company. We did multiple interviews.
Okay.
They're always going to be able to talk to you, and you always do a gut check. Can I work with this person? Do I like this person off the cuff? Are they going to fit with our culture? Will they be able to mesh with everybody else? Will they be able to mesh with their team? Those things are all things you're going to assess through the interview process. Hang on. Yeah. For the resume, let's imagine it was us for a second, and we both went to Queen's. We went through the Queen's School of Business. We went through the Business Career Center, whatever it's called now. And they helped us write our resumes and do a better job of them than other people. And they helped us better qualify us through the resumes and structure the resumes in a better way. What's the effing difference? I feel like in this way, Gary, you spent a bit more time using an AI tool, fine, to make a good looking resume. And then I saw said resume. I think what you might see as a problem potentially is people fooling the AI tool that's reviewing them, like building your resume in a way that for some reason is more appealing, like having 4 bullets for some reason that a human wouldn't like, but because bullets are always in 3s or 5s.
Right.
4 bullets, whenever I see it, drives me actually bananas. maybe like an AI tool for some reason is like, I love 4 bullets, and so it just biases that. So maybe there's ways you could fool it. Right. That might be problematic, but I don't think it's an issue. I really don't. So you're still gonna interview them.
All right, let me throw out a suggestion. And I want you just
episode over. Start it up.
Just go with me on this, okay? Let's just throw out the traditional hiring process. Say, look, that's bupkis, okay?
You were really hoping I would align with you on this, eh?
I was.
You were really hoping I would back you up and be like,
no.
You know what, Chris? You're right.
So I started. After I left the Shopify thing, and I'm walking over and I'm thinking about this, and I'm kind of like, oh gosh, it's really broken. Like, how would I hire somebody? And I kind of had this like weird idea. I was like, you know what if I just said, you have to have this many years of experience. You have to have this education, whatever that is. And then you get to, if you're interested in a job interview, you got to show up at, and I would pick like a coffee shop or somewhere like that. And I'll tell me you're interested and I'll give you a slot to come and talk to me at a coffee shop. So I can actually just like skip all the AI work slop that's going to come in on that resume and skip right to I'm just going to talk to this person in the real world and find out.
Not if you can't
because then I can just get data. Okay. Like work experience, education, not the other fluff stuff. Okay. I don't care about it. And then I get to talk to this person. I get to find out, can I work with this person? Okay. Are they passionate about this thing? Or do they actually have the skills? Can I question some of their skills on this stuff?
Sorry, maybe I don't
and have that as
understand.
my like filtering process.
I don't really like how is that?
So the other thing I think is that I think people obviously carpet bomb job applications. The auto apply and stuff
auto
like
applies.
that.
Yeah, those
exactly.
platforms auto. Like if you put your resume in Indeed, it's just going to apply for it.
Like the minute you post a job posting, boom, you just get a whole bunch of auto applies, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if you just sort of like, if you want to do this, you have to commit some of your time and you have to show up physically at a place to do the like mini interview. Okay. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Maybe you get a free coffee or something like that.
If you get 150 people?
Like, well, no, I would limit it. I would say here's the deal.
Based on what?
You get through the bar. Okay. And then you say to those people, you're like, okay, here's your slot. You got to come to this place on this time. Okay.
You're scheduling.
Are you accepting them or not? Okay. And if they don't accept, it's because they live in a different city or country or something like that. Like there are a whole bunch of things just get filtered out by somebody saying, oh, I have to physically go there to do this part to get to the next step. And I feel like that filters out a whole bunch of auto applies.
But then you would, okay, if somebody's applying from elsewhere, I'm pretty sure you can look at that as criteria to reject them, because if it's not a remote job,
right,
and then they have
even if it is a remote job, I still want to see that person in person at least once before I hire them, right?
Okay.
So what if you like just put the pressure on them? Okay, hey, you made it to the next round. You got to, if you're interested in doing a brief interview, you got to show up this place at this time for your interview.
Yeah, but that's the normal process.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Let's say if I wanted somebody, I saw somebody who had a resume at
but all of a sudden that person's like, whoa, I got to the next round. Do I actually want this job? And then it's back on them. And it's like, okay, they're interested in me.
Okay.
I'm just trying to save my own time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to create.
But how is the hiring process broken then based on that? Like, well,
that's just, I don't think I can trust the resume. I don't think I can trust the bot that I have reviewing the resume. Like I feel like it's just bots talking to bots.
Can I offer something?
Okay.
You are afraid of hiring. Yeah, I know it. Through and through. And I would say that this is more just feeding some sort of weird anxiety.
Do you remember one of your
structural problem?
Your favorite saying is, there are no small bets in hiring.
In HR, there are no small bets in HR.
Right. Yeah. So yes, for that reason, I don't like big bets. And so the way I'm trying to turn this into a small bet is that
you're still committing your time. And
I don't
possibly
care.
Interviewing
I will
hundreds
commit
of
my time for a day.
And
or
it's
whatever
not different
it takes.
than the normal hiring process. You look at resumes and you go, well, I like this person or I don't. I want them to come in person to our office. They're going to do at least one interview. Then they're going to get interviewed by all our staff or by everybody on their team. Well, I don't think it's different.
So that was my idea.
I'm with you on that. That the bot stuff, manipulating resumes potentially like in real time, as you're suggesting, to better suit an application. I think that's okay as far as it's like the fluff of the resume. If it's like, oh, all of a sudden the resume says, or the listing says you need 7 years of experience and you really only have 5, but then that Chrome tool is like, oh, let's put a 7 in there instead of a 5. That's a problem.
Well, no. It wasn't doing that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But it was definitely. Then
this sounds like completely legit, functional. Like this is the way it works.
Right.
This is because the reason why it works this way is that you want to get it. The weird thing is you want a large pool of applicants. You actually want a lot of people so that you can hopefully get somebody who's awesome.
I don't want a large pool of applicants.
You want the best applicant right away. That's a totally different idea.
All right. So can I so thinking about my crazy idea of like the coffee shop meetup thing.
The interview.
The interview. Well, no, I didn't want to call it an interview because it's not going to be like, it's going to be like 5 minutes. Is this person like alive? Do they?
Okay. That's an important criteria. It's like speed dating.
Right.
You want to speed date for employees.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of weird, but
that's kind of weird. Let's not go down that road.
Back to jail for you.
Yeah. Speed interviewing. Whatever. I ain't going back. No. All right.
Oh, didn't see you there. I'm just reading Startup Different, my book to help you get to your multi-million-dollar business. You can find it on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle.
Right. So after I thought about this, I thought like, does this exist? Okay. And I actually found one that's really interesting. Have you ever heard of a company called Anduril?
Nope.
They're a defense tech startup in the US. They like do all sorts of automation, robotics,
whatever.
Crazy, but it's all like defense focused. Anyways, they had a drone flying competition where the winners get job offers.
Cool.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
So, and what it was basically like engineers going there. They had to make their drones fly autonomously and do certain things. And they had this like competition. I think the winner actually got $500,000. I think like the winner like actually was, but like people, I think the whole group of winners in all the different categories got like job offers there.
Cool.
But it was like this real exciting way. It's kind of like almost like a hackathon.
I was gonna say it's a hackathon.
A hackathon with like, oh, you get a job at the end. So
some hackathons do that.
And what I liked
most
about
of the
it,
time, though, hackathons are money. I think
what I liked about it too was it was like show don't tell. It was like they come in and they're gonna like actually show you what they can build. Okay. And you get to see it in real life. So even though they were building and they were going to use AI and stuff like that and what they were building, they were actually building.
Yeah.
So you can actually say, oh, like, this guy can build a drone that does loop de loops and, you know, I don't know,
like,
laser shoots.
You're hiring for a customer service representative.
Yeah.
Like, like, look, that sounds awesome.
Come on in and answer some tickets for us.
Yeah. Tell us, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, maybe that's why you ask them scenario-based questions. Right. How would you deal with this if this happened? And we had people get those answers.
So maybe that
wrong.
happens. Maybe that happens in the coffee, my toned down version of the drone competition, which is the speed interviewing type of approach.
So the speed interviewing sounds like you're assessing for culture fit, whereas that sounds like it's assessing for
technical. You could ask a question. You could be like, hey, here's a sample support ticket that we got that was a real tough one. How would you handle this?
Yeah, we do that.
And then you could actually see with that person. And they can't really easily go and whip out.
Well, all of a sudden, AI. Your speed date's starting to sound a little bit longer. Because now we're starting to get into a 10, 15-minute speed date, which is no longer a speed date. That is an interview. You're interviewing again.
I think you're hacking my
approach
to this. But
buddy, I imagine I came in here and was like, coding is broken. And I'm going to tell you how to fix it. Like, kiss my butt. This process is like actually fairly robust. It takes time, but you can get good people out of it, which is the point of this. The other way you get around this is headhunting. Is you go and you find somebody that you're really looking for. I can't remember the name of the company. There's I think it's Cursor actually. Yeah. They have this like Slack channel that is just for them trying to target really good people that they've worked with at other companies. Yeah. And basically the deal is if you can convince everybody in there that so-and-so is a good fit, they all go after you. They all try to get you to go work at Cursor.
I get somebody on LinkedIn once a week asking me, hey, we've got this terrific job opportunity for a tech startup in Toronto. And can we sit down and have a coffee and see what the opportunity is?
You get that once a week?
I get a lot of those. I love saying,
why don't I get them once a week?
I'm retired. I'm retired, not doing anything more, and probably I'm under NDA or in something, something that means I can't do it. But anyways, but I'm not going to go take a job at this point.
Why not? I know a guy who became CEO of another company afterwards, but it wasn't like in tech. He was in tech.
Yeah.
Actually, you might have met him at some point, and he really likes it.
Would you want to do that?
I don't know. Not right now.
I don't think I could work for somebody again. I don't think.
Well, he was the CEO.
After my brief 3 months at Motorola Solutions, I think I'm good.
It's hard. I mean, he wasn't working for a Motorola Solutions size company.
Right.
And he was the CEO. He still is the CEO. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like if you're still looking for challenges, it can be a really good path for a lot of founders.
Okay.
It's a lot easier than starting a new company, man.
All right. So with all this in mind,
Yeah.
can we come up with some advice for startup founders who are looking to hire people?
Can't be done.
That's your answer to everything.
Can't be done.
So that they can cut through the thousands of applicants and get to the quality applicants who actually are interested in working for your company and are gonna bring the skills, the passion, the fit to your organization. What is the best practice here? Like, is it just keep doing the Indeed thing and work through that existing process, or is it something more, innovative like me, like coming up with the
I don't think
speed dating or the Anduril, like, I don't know how you do it for a call center employee. I'm sorry, but like, is there some way to fix or to just, jettison yourself from the broken hiring system and do it in a completely different way where you get to better results at this point?
But there's other constraints. Like, do I have unlimited time?
Let's say you're going to hire for a position. You're willing to commit. I don't know. We would have put like a week of your time into hiring somebody before.
Totally.
So would you put the same week of time into something alternative?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I assume so. I mean, I'd like to get a gain if I'm going to do it differently, right?
Right.
So probably like half the time or something.
Okay.
Like
So 2.5 days. Would you do something different?
What am I going to do though? Like,
so you post your job thing. It's only really asking the bare minimum. Okay. And then you say, hey, these people met the bare minimum. Here's your slot if you'd like an interview. And then you do a 5-minute interview for them. You screen them, from that.
And I used to do this, Chris. I used to call people when they met the criteria, and I'd call them and I have a quick.
So what if you don't call them? What if you have to do it in person?
Then that's more of my time, but I could.
No, but you're just going to go up to Starbucks or Mofer Coffee.
Maybe they can see each other as they walk in.
Yeah.
Really get the.
Yeah, well, then they know it's a real thing, right?
So I could do that, but I mean, I think I'm not saying I was the best at this by any means, but I felt like I could get a pretty good sense of the person pretty quickly. The other thing too is like there's something to be said about like the we did an episode on this years ago, but on the like rehearsedness of people. Yeah. They rehearse for the interview and then suck at the job. And sometimes that happens. Yeah. And I would try to push them out of that zone.
Yeah.
What I would really like to be able to do is as soon as I had somebody apply, boom, call them. Really? As soon as similar but different to your idea, which is if I can call them right away, they're not prepared. They don't have the bullshit, right? Theoretically, if they auto applied, they wouldn't know a goddamn thing about it. But if they did apply, they would know about it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Right.
But then you got to be Johnny on the spot there.
Yeah. But maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of it. Like maybe you write on now if you write on the thing and you say, I'm going to call you as soon as you apply, then I guess they're going to know. You know what I mean? But there's something in that. I think that's what I want to break. I don't think the system's broken. I think what I'd like to be able to do is break through the interview facade.
Yeah.
Break through the bullshit there so I can actually know what this person is like. And that's very challenging. And that, to be honest, that's why you hear about some companies doing like 6 or 7 interviews. So,
remember the movie Fight Club? Okay. Mm-hmm. And remember how like the kind of like the
first rule of Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club. But you remember how like you never really know yourself until you've been in a fight?
Yeah. So you want to fight them?
All right. Drop the gloves. We're gonna really know you.
Yeah, your first interview's at this boxing ring. Oh, what? Okay. Bring your laptop though. What?
It's so innovative. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we beat the shit out of every applicant to really know their tolerance.
All right. Well, is that a good spot to end this episode on?
I don't know where we landed here, and other than I will say, if I may, with some party thoughts, HR is really hard. Hiring people is really hard. I think as founders, you should be trying to break through the facade. I wouldn't worry about the resume thing. I think it's more like a good resume is you'll know them. You can tell them after a while. But I would say that if it looks good and it meets your criteria, give them a quick call, talk to them for 5 minutes and see if they're worth talking to further.
Yeah.
And I think that's the spirit of what you're trying to say too.
Yep.
And then after that, I mean, there's this weird, like these two opposing forces when you're in a startup. On the one hand, you only have so much time.
Right.
So it's hard to commit a lot of time to bringing someone on. On the other hand, you do really need to understand the person. We did okay. I'd say we hit about 75% of the time we would hire somebody pretty good.
Yep.
And sometimes we had to move people around into different seats in the company or whatever to get them a better fit than we thought at first.
Yep.
But most of the time people stayed on. And I think it's because we put a lot of time in the process. The other thing I'm going to say, last thing on this, is engage other people. If you have other people working for you already, get them involved in the hiring process, because they'll be more bought in on that person when they come in, but also they're better assessors of culture than you are.
I remember we mentioned Austin, and I remember Austin was like our first developer. I remember
bringing him into the lobby.
And then you remember we hired 2 other developers.
Yes.
And I remember going to Austin, like, yeah, we hired those 2 developers. Yeah, they're going to start next week. I think this is your chance to step up, and you could train them.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, I could totally train them. And so he sat in the middle with one on each side of him and was like working, and they would ask him questions and stuff like that. And after like 2 days, he's like, I hate training.
Yeah. There's a whole other conversation.
You fooled me.
A whole other conversation on onboarding.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah. So
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, folks.
Hey.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wide. Turn that grind into a joyride.